Hi guys, welcome to Teaching It Real. My name is Pauline. Today I'm going to be talking about EDPUZZLE, a platform that I mentioned last week in my first video ever. And I'm just going to be talking about and doing a run through of how to use it, how I use it, and most importantly, how you can use it in your classroom. So enjoy. So I would start by definitely going on the website just to kind of play around with it and get comfortable with the different facets and the different buttons. The first thing I did was actually just Google some videos that I wanted to look up and that were relative to my class. So as you could see, one of the videos that I gave was order of operations. It says 14, and there's like a little teardrop. The teardrop actually represents the number of questions or any kind of stops you want to make throughout the video. So it could even be a comment, a question, a note, anything like that. So I tend to like watch the whole video first. Other people have made videos and there are teardrops that already are implemented within the video. So for example, if I click on YouTube, I'm going to look up something that I want to be teaching my kids or that we're working on right now. So for example, we're working on writing summaries. Once I type this in, many different videos will come up. So I can choose the one that I like. I'm just going to go with the first one for now. So once you click on that, that's actually the original video on YouTube that you would find on YouTube. When you open that up, you'll see at the bottom over here, 2 video versions, meaning that there are 2 other people who've used this in their practice, in their classrooms or whatnot. So what they've done is I can look at each one of their video versions. And as you notice over here, there is the 2 teardrops like over here. If I click on that, and this is this person's video. So what they've done is that they've implemented their own teardrops throughout the video. I'll watch it. And if I like the questions that they're asking, then I will also assign this specific video that they've made, their version, to my classroom. But if I don't like any of the versions that are out there, because there's only 2 and I want to make my own, what I can do is after I'm done watching the video and I like it, I click on, and again on the computer, these options over here, assign, copy, and edit, will actually show up already on the big screen on the right hand side. So what I can do is I can press edit. Once I click on that, I can actually cut different parts of the video out if it's too long or if I want to make it, if I want to cut out specific parts of it. And you can also do a voiceover. So say the video has a lot of imaging and pictures. Say if it's fractions, for example, instead of using the person who created the video, their voice, you can actually do a voiceover of your own. You can also, and this is the part I like the most, is that I can implement my own questions. If I do multiple choice questions, I actually have the option of choosing like which one's correct and which one's incorrect. And therefore that when the student goes on, and I'll show you after, when the student goes on, they actually can click on the answer. And once they click on the answer, it will tell them automatically if they are right or wrong. If they are wrong, they actually have a choice of going back and watching the video or the section of the video that pertains to that question. So that's really awesome as well. But if it's an open-ended question, just keep in mind that you do have to go back and onto EDPUZZLE, I should say, and it'll tell you like this is how many questions you have to mark or that is left to be graded. And I'll show you what that looks like as well. But yes, that's for the open-ended question. So choosing multiple choice is easier because it automatically marks it for you and gives you their grade, whereas an open-ended question, you would have to go back into EDPUZZLE and mark their work. But I don't mind either or, and you can also add a note within the whole video as well, wherever you see fit. It could be like reminders of some sort that I usually put in. So once I do that, I can then make my little edits, and then what you can do is you can press assign, and once you press assign, it'll actually give you the option of either assigning it to your class or assigning it manually to specific students. So keep that in mind as well. Now I do want to show you the little options that there are on this website just so that you're familiar with it. Again, like I showed you before, these are where the popular channels are. These are the videos that you can implement for your classroom. And then if I click on the little graduation hat there, this is where it'll tell me what I was talking about earlier. So this tells me what's in progress, like who's still working on it, as well as what I need to mark. So for example, it says 22 new answers. If I click on that, it'll actually say 22 answers to grade because I gave them open-ended questions. Therefore, I need to actually look through the questions and grade it. So for example, I gave them this, and then I will be able to mark whether or not it's correct or not. So There's a due date as well, and it tells me how many people turned it in and versus not. Clearly, they're still working on this one, which is fine because it's due at the end of this week, so I'm not mad about it. I also want to show you that if I go into this little Excel worksheet, that's what it looks like to me. This is where it'll tell you their grade. It says Gradebook on the full website. It'll say Gradebook at the top. This is where it tells me what they've received on the actual video. So all the videos that I assigned to them, they're actually at the top over here. And obviously my screen is very small, so you can't see it all, but on the website, it's like a full spreadsheet of all the videos. And so far, there's only been a few because, again, I just discovered this recently. So over here, if we look at order of operations, for example, this person scored a 92 and etc. And if I keep scrolling down, it'll tell me who's still working on it and who's missing their work. But this is really hard to see. And on the website, it actually doesn't scroll down like this and show me all my students. So what I can also do is I can export the gradebook. And when I click on that, it actually opens up to a Google Excel sheet. And once I open that up, it'll give me all the details of all my students as well as their time spent on the website so far, as well as what their grades are on or what they got out of 100. So it's really broken down nicely and it's so organized already, and you can share it with whoever you want to, but you can also keep it in your files so that you don't have to sit there and write down all their marks wherever you do. You just have to keep it open, and you can even title the Excel sheet as well so you can keep it in your files. Another toggle over here is the little play button, it looks like. Here's just like things that people are using. You can go through and see what is trending at the moment. And if I want to search, that's where I search any content that I need. What I really want to show you as well, the third thing, I guess, or maybe like this is the sixth thing. If I press the button over here, you'll see the button titled Curriculum. And when I click on that, this is really helpful as well. It's so great, actually. I can click on what pertains to me. So for me, it would be middle school. So I would press View Content, and then you can actually choose what subject you want to choose. So for example, I teach science, social studies, math, and language as well. So right now, just for this, I will just choose math. And then it goes into subcategories as well of what is available. So right now we are doing algebra, and then you could do either introductions to equations, inequalities, system of equations, like very, very specific things. And it actually filters through all the videos for you so that you don't actually have to search up a specific title unless you already know a video that you've seen on YouTube or any of the other popular channels. I would suggest using this as well because it's super easy and it filters it, like I said, for you. To be honest, I think that even though we can obviously use all these popular channels ourselves, the best part about EDPUZZLE is that it actually slows your students down. And like I mentioned in my first video, you know, they are multitasking here. They're rushing through their work, I find as well, which I'm going to be talking about in my next video. And this allows them to, or this at least keeps them on track and ensures that they're paying attention to the details of the video. And at least it gives them some responsibility to be able to answer questions throughout the video. And it tells you whether or not they're paying attention and whether or not they're understanding the content, especially. But really, I think the best thing to do is just go on EDPUZZLE, check it out, and play with it a little bit, look up some videos and see what would pertain to you and how you would best implement it in your plans and in your classroom during this distance learning time. Thanks for tuning in, guys. I really hope that you enjoyed it, and I hope that you use it within your Google Classrooms as well as within your distance learning journey. We are all new to this, so again, be easy on yourselves, and please subscribe below. If you have any questions or comments, you can also write it below, and I will answer them as quick as possible.